And God, Daniel. Oh, what that dying. This is the voice. Not just any voice, but the voice of the Patriot. This is where we speak truth to power. And from the news reel, we always endeavor to keep it real. This is the voice of the people. And the voice of the people is certainly the voice of God. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must, we would only do that on one condition: to build and never ever to destroy. That is why we keep telling you, we are in the service of God and country, genuinely, clean like a whistle. This is the voice of the Patriot, and I am ready for us to do the business of the day. My brother, my sister, there are so many things we need to look at today, but I need us, my brother, my sister, to take it one at a time. The very first story I am reading and willing to take on today is this one from Ghana Web. And it says, sick joke. Oral dead on arrival. Atta Mills's brother rubbishes Muhammad's investigation team. And I read, Cadman Mills, the brother of the late President John Evans Atta Mills, has criticized the operationalization of Operation Recover or Loot Oral, calling it a sick joke and dead on arrival. Now, in a response to Oliver Bawku, the convener of the Fix the Country movement, who accused his late brother of being soft on corruption, Cadman Mills defended the legacy of the former president. Bawku had claimed that Atta Mills's approach to governance, specifically his philosophy of being a father for all, led to a lack of action against corruption during his tenure. Now, the legend that Atta Mills was soft on corruption because, well, I'll take it again. The legend that Atta Mills was soft on corruption because he believed he was father for all simply flies in the face of the facts. Cadman Mills lamented. He listed several instances where the late president initiated investigations into corruption and attempted to intervene in cases of blatant misconduct. However, Cadman Mills noted that the structural and legal environment in Ghana makes it challenging to address corruption effectively. Now, the problem with Ghana is that conflict of interest, self-dealing, systematic political interference in contract awards, and public officials accepting gifts in quotes, as the norm. As a result, there are simply no effective conflict of interest laws, he said. He dismissed oral as ineffective without the passage of a private members' bill to establish robust conflict of interest laws and regulate government contracts. Now, this is a brother of the late President John Evans Atta Mills. I respect this man, may his soul rest in peace, and I respect this man called Cadman Mills so much. Now, Cadman Mills, before the inception of this new government, went out to make it clear that some bootlickers and sycophants were on the rampage, knocking on the door of President Mahama, at the time president-elect, to put people who he claimed were square pegs in round holes. My brother, my sister, I applauded this. Specifically, he mentioned the son of the president called Sharaf Mahama, who some people were already telling Mahama to appoint as the sports minister. And he said bootlickers were on the loose, knocking on the doors of the president. We applauded him and said, yes, We need party insiders to be able to come out so blatantly and clean like the whistle and make some of these things work. My brother, my sister, today Cadman Mills is here again. And what is he talking about? He's talking about the oral team. First and foremost, he debunks the fact that Atta Mills was quite loose on corruption. And the fact that he played the father for all. And therefore, he gave thieves a field day to operate. May I go a little bit into this? Listen, man, it's a fact that John Evans Atta Mills became the mother hen of the nation, the so-called father for all. And in his being the father for all, so many things went haywire. May I go into that? Listen attentively. So many people have been pinpointed as people who have destroyed this nation with their corrupt activities. And therefore, Ghanaians were fed up and ready to vote in a new government to come over and deal with the mess. Atta Mills was therefore voted into power, only for him to tell us he was the father for all. Not a single member of the previous government was ever prosecuted. Not one. He said, let bygones be bygones. He said, he asked everything to go cool, to the point that even Jerry John Rawlings got angry with him. And that was the departure point between the ex-president and John Evans Atta Mills. He was heard several times himself saying that Rawlings criticized him of being so soft. But he was not soft. He just wanted bygones to be bygones. Atta Mills had no right to let thieves go away for free. Ghana's money is not Atta Mills' personal money. He had no right to say, I will not prosecute anybody from the previous government who was corrupt. But that was exactly what he did. And if Cadman Mills today is coming out to tell us, okay, yes, he did that, but he also prosecuted people in his government, that's all right. What happened to those in the previous government that they referred to as corrupt? Inordinately corrupt. Only for them to come into power and they couldn't find any corruption in the so-called inordinately corrupt people before they came into power. I have a problem with that. Canada Japan was ranting all over the place that Mahama was a thief. Kromfosa. At the end of the day, they were still in power. Were they able to prosecute Mahama? I don't like such sick jokes like that. We behave like idiots most of the time in this country, my brother. You say a man is corrupt and you are in power. Why don't you deal with that corrupt person? You are so quick and fast to go out there with all fluidity and tell everybody at the gallery that this person is corrupt. Yet you are unable to prosecute such a person when you have all the power. That was what Atta Mills did. Yes, he was an honorable man. He was a man who was incorruptible. He was a man who moved from one institution to the other, talking to them and preaching to them about anti-corruption and preaching to them to be clean. But at the end of the day, he freed a lot of thieves from the previous government. That is what Oliver Baka Vomawo Mawusi is talking about. Now let us come to this oral thing, dead on arrival. How is it dead on arrival? I do understand the point that conflict of interest laws would have to be promulgated. I understand that and I agree with that. But we have so many laws in Ghana that are only sitting there like white elephants. We have the laws, yet they seem to be non-existent. It's better to have the law that seems to be non-existent than not to have it at all. I agree. My brother, my sister, in this country, it will be very, very difficult to fight corruption without dealing with some of these things from the root. Patriotism. Cadman Mills is talking about so many different things here. My brother, my sister, what is he talking about? He's talking about the fact that before one gets a contract, he must know somebody who knows another person's brother, sister's uncle. Public officials are ready to take gifts in courts before they give you a certain favor, also in courts. What kind of a nation is this? We need people who can stand firm on their 2 feet. Stay away from the so-called gifts. Stand so firm and say it's all about Ghana. I am yet to see those Ghanaians who will say, listen, I am being paid a salary, and for that matter, this gift is not worth it. Ghanaians have made it a norm to even demand gifts. It's only in Ghana that people demand gifts. Just this morning, I woke up to a text message. Somebody telling me, oh, that time of the year has come again. It is my birthday. Instead of just sending me a text message to say happy birthday, I would wish that you send your message through Momo. In other words, send me money. My brother, my sister, it is in this country that we have no virtues, yet we claim we are the most religious. We go to church, we go to the mosque every time, yet we hate our brother, we hate our sister. In the name of religion, we can kill our brother and sister, yet in the name of religion, we are not ready to clean our environments. What kind of religion do we belong to? There's a church that is so flamboyantly built, yet the road to the church is all bumpy and rugged. Church members are not ready to come out and build that road, even if they had all the money to do it. No, they would rather use it for tithes and anointing oil. You go to the mosque around Nima and some other places. The mosque is situated right in front of a smelly gutter. My brother, my sister, the smell of the gutter is like a special lavender to those people who worship at the mosque. And I ask myself, why? We don't respect our environment anymore. In the name of religion, we are quick to kill and attack each other. Yet, we are not ready in the name of religion to show love. Why do we practice some part of the religion and we leave the other parts of the religion just because we believe they don't favor us? We must fight corruption. And as long as Bitterbelly Blakk Rasta is alive, I will fight corruption tooth and nail till the end of time. Next thing I want to quickly look at, and I need you to come along, my brother, my sister. Hey, there are so many things here. But, well, let me just look at this quickly. I'm reading this from my Joy Online. I promise I'm not going to spend even up to 5 minutes on this. Mahama embarks on peace mission to Bawku and Nalergo. Listen, Bawku and Nalergo. Why not Bolgatanga and Pesingpe? We shall understand. Watch this. I read. President John Dramani Mahama has undertaken a critical peace-building mission to Bawku and Nalergo today, Tuesday, January 14, 2025. Now, the visit forms part of the president's unwavering commitment to resolving the protracted conflict in Bawku, which has plagued the region for decades. Now, during his time in the area, President Mahama is engaging with the conflict factions and key stakeholders to promote dialogue and foster lasting peace. His approach underscores his dedication to addressing one of Ghana's most pressing regional conflicts through constructive conversations and inclusive solutions. The president is determined to resolve the decade-old conflict in Bawku and would use the visit to engage the conflict factions and key stakeholders to promote dialogue to achieve lasting peace, stated Felix Kwachofosu, acting presidential spokesperson. Bawku is predominated by the wonderful people. My brother, my sister, known as the Mampusis and They are brothers known as the Bulsa. My brother, my sister. Now, when you look at this, it is sad. When you look at what is happening in these areas, it's been so sad all these years, my brother, my sister. Conflict upon conflict, fight upon fight, and it looks like peace is not in the dictionary in the area. My brother, my sister, we have seen so many people go down the drain. We have seen so many people die, all because of conflicts in the area. Several decades of fighting, my brother, my sister. And when you look at it, my brother, my sister, it is sad. So, before the president became the president, it was rumored that he was not interested in the peace of the area because of his ethnic affiliation. But my brother, my sister, he promised that upon coming into power, he would make sure that he will deal with the situation. Now the Bawku conflict is an age-old thing, my brother, my sister, and he has decided to visit two very important towns. Now these important towns, my brother, my sister, are Nalergu and Bawku, where the two factions have their headquarters in one way or the other. My brother, my sister, as it stands right now, Mahama has visited the area, and my prayer is that what he has started so actively would yield some positive results. What he has started, my brother, my sister, my prayer is that it will yield some very positive results. Now, there is something I would like to share with you about this Bawku conflict. Apart from just saying that the Bawku conflict is between two ethnic groups, it is worth understanding that these ethnic groups are brothers. It is worth understanding, my brother, my sister, historically, they come from one source. Their languages are so close. In fact, they are dialects. When they speak, they understand each other. I'm talking about the Kusasis and the Mamprusis. Did I say Bulsa initially? The Kusasis and the Mamprusis. When somebody speaks Kusal, another person speaking Mampruli understands in one way or the other. I'm glad that the president has decided to go into it. I said I was not going to spend up to 5 minutes on this. I'm going to find special time and go into it. How many days in power? The man is already there, dealing with the peace of the people. He knows he has limited time. I congratulate you, Mr. President. Now, the next thing I quickly want to look at, and I want to be brief with this. I'm reading from Peace FM Online. It says, Minerals Income and Investment Fund CEO sacked by President Mahama. And I read, President John Dramani Mahama has immediately and effectively terminated Edward Nana Yao Koranting's appointment as the Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Income and Investment Fund. A statement from the presidency asked Yao Koranting to hand his duties to the Finance Minister, Dr. Kisela Tuforsen. I write to formally inform you that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has revoked your appointment as the Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Income and Investment Fund, effective immediately. You are directed to hand over your duties to the President's representative at the Ministry of Finance. Honorable Dr. Atuforsen will oversee the operations of the fund until a substantive Chief Executive Officer is appointed. Parts of the letter read. My brother. I am so elated that this man has been sacked. My brother, the whole of the Minerals Commission, all their bosses, anybody who has to do with mineral must be sacked. They have disrespected this nation by making galamsey a byword in this country. Find out what byword means. It's one word. B-Y-W-O-R-D. They have made galamsey a byword in this country. Galamsey has become part of our DNA. In fact, it's our middle name in this country. We invented the name galamsey. Very soon it's going to be in the Oxford Dictionary, just like Koshoko and the rest of them are in there. Destroyed the land, enriched a few idiots who can sit on TV and show how much gold they have made from destroying the earth. All these people sat down speaking big English whilst our nation was descending geometrically into the abyss like the Titanic. And he sits down there. Now he's going to play a victim. Oh, my party is out of power. Or another party has come into power and therefore I have been victimized. Victimized what? Mr. Mahama, thank you so much for this one. The next thing to do is to sack the rest of them who sat down and made this nation go down like that. Again, Mr. Mahama. Galamsey, is it still going on? Has it stopped with your coming in as president? What are the updates on galamsey? I leave it here. Next thing I want to look at is this one here from Ghana Web. It says, don't appoint Dr. Randy Abe as sports minister. Mahama told veteran sports journalist Eko Asma has advised President John Mahama not to appoint Dr. Randy Abe as Minister for Sports and Recreation. Dr. Abe has been rumored to be a potential candidate for the role as President Mahama seeks to revitalize Ghana sports. His resignation as host of Metro TV's Good Morning Ghana has further fueled these speculations. However, Asma, in an interview with Happy FM, publicly urged the president to reconsider Dr. Abe's potential appointment, citing concerns over his alleged ties to corruption within the Ghana Football Association. Dr. Randy Abe should not be appointed as the new Minister for Sports and Recreation because he's deeply involved in all the crooked deals surrounding the current administration of the GFA. Asma also encouraged the president to seek a strong, principled leader who will confront the GFA administration and address its alleged misconduct. I'll leave it here. I see calls like this as timely and very important. This is not malice. This is somebody who has Ghana at heart. He's saying, Mr. President, I think you should not nominate Randy Abe as the sports minister. And these are my reasons. So, he has behaved like a Ghanaian, a patriotic Ghanaian. He said Randy Abe's fingers are deep in a lot of football-related corrupt activities. So all that has to be done, this guy should be invited. quietly. This is what you said. Can we investigate some of these things? My brother, Randy Abe played a very important role in having President Mahama re-elected. That you cannot take away from him. Kudos to him. He stood his grounds. He was even attacked. My brother, my sister, heckled on live TV. Several times we saw. The last one was when they tried to take his car away from him. My brother, my sister, he was on a TV station that also had Paul Adum Ochri, the NPP's Paul Adum Ochri, who is deeply in bed with the NPP. I respect both of them. My brother, my sister, I've had the opportunity to speak with both of them on live TV and radio. Can we investigate these allegations? Yes, they helped you to come into power, but are they fit for the job? That's the question we should ask ourselves. It's not payday. It's not cheap trouble for the boys. Oh, you helped me come into power, so come and take this. No! That way you cannot build Ghana. We are looking for people who can build the country. We want to look at the dossier that they have built for themselves in the past. We want to be able to see exactly what they stood for and what they achieved in the name of the nation. Sports ministry is not the only place Randy Abe can fit in if he's found to be innocent of these allegations. Why not? But if he is culpable, please do the needful.
Yeah, this is Jack Coffee. Why?
Well, interesting things coming up. I think I'm going to take the very last one and I'll be done. Should I look at this? I don't feel like taking this one, but my producer keeps saying that we have to look at it. All right? Okay, so let's look at it quickly. I'm reading this from my own Tree News, one of the most authentic sources of news online. President Mahama hints at reluctance to legislate anti-LGBTQ plus bill, suggests focus on teaching family values instead. I read. John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, has indicated a preference for promoting family values through education rather than prioritizing legislation. His remarks made during a meeting with the Catholic Bishops' Conference suggest a shift towards dialogue and moral education over legal measures. Now, speaking at the meeting, Mahama emphasized that Ghana's cultural and moral values could be better preserved through a curriculum that insists family values in the younger generation. He highlighted his preference for more inclusive ways to uphold traditional values rather than a legislative instrument like the controversial LGBTQ plus bill. I am smiling in capital letters. You know why? Now listen to this. I don't know how Sam George feels about this pronouncement. In opposition, I think I heard John Dramani Mahama say that Nana Akufo-Addo should go ahead and sign. I heard John Dramani Mahama also talk against LGBTQI+ in opposition. Has he changed from what he promised the people? Now let us get into this seriously. I am glad that Mahama is talking about something I've been advocating all these years. Going back to the roots and educating our people. Talk to our people about patriotism. Instill it in their growing up. And when they grow up, with all apology to the Bible, they shall not depart from it. Kai, this is deep. Hey! Now, listen attentively. Now, the LGBTQI plus is nothing but punitive. If you do it and we catch you, you will go to jail. If you do it and we catch you, we will whip you. If you do it and we catch you, we'll do this. Oh, yes. Have we educated our people to understand that this is bad and why it is punishable? There's a lot of ignorance in our country, a lot of illiteracy in our country. You can have 1 million people join you on the road to demonstrate, yet they don't even know what they are demonstrating about. My brother, my sister, Mahama is saying that he thinks it will be better for us to go into the moral fiber of the society rather than bringing about punitive measures about the LGBTQI plus thing. It's the same thing about our prison system. Prison is not supposed to be punitive. It is supposed to be what? Reformative. Blakk Rasta, say it again. I said prison is not supposed to be punitive. It is supposed to be reformatory. And I've heard some judge several times say that the bill that he proposed and sponsored with others is not supposed to punish, it's supposed to reform people. My brother, my sister, here we are at the crossroads. But one thing is very clear. It's all about the paymaster. If Mahama signs this bill, the nation would suffer economic issues, including loans, aids, grants to the nation. Because those who control all these avenues support LGBTQI plus square root minus 1 plus 2. My brother, my sister, Nana Akufo-Addo, who could hear the voice of God directly like Moses and even promise God a cathedral, did not dare and could not dare sign that bill. Let alone Mahama, who was touted as the womanizer, an ungodly person that they claimed he was. Is he the one to sign it? Even Nana Addo, who could hear the voice of God like Moses, couldn't sign the LGBT. He ran away from it because of the paymaster. That is where my problem is. My problem is not about LGBTQI+. My problem is how we are controlled by the West. And whatever the West says is the right thing is what we accept and do. We are like puppets. We are not truly independent. We are a joke of an independent nation. Are we ready to tell the so-called paymaster that this is our nation and we are ready to take the reins of the nation, come what may, independently? Can we do that? Today, your power must be on. Where is the oil going to come from? You need aid from Saudi Arabia. You need aid from America. You need aid from England. And before they give you the aid, there's nothing like free lunch. They will tell you, this is our interest as well. Until we are able to deal with this, forget about LGBTQI+. Forget about all the nasty things happening in our country. We will never have a solution till we are truly economically independent. I leave it here.